So I've been messing around with the ships a little bit, working on some of the captures I had. I was going through looking at the ones that I built and rebuilding. I retouched this one. I decided to mess with the pontoons. I like the way this one came out. It really will swallow the landing pad now too, fill it all up. But definitely, I think it looks much better with the full pontoon. And I made this experimental here. I went ahead and did a 3x3 Demos empty hab because I decided, well, I can throw that together real quick and then take that group of gunwale pack-ins and spread them out because this hab comes with a lot of walls. It's empty, but it has several walls internally on it, and it just make it real easy to lay them out and spread it out and test to see if there's any merit to the thought that the density of all those pack-ins placed together that was having trouble, which doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense because I've got those other picture frame pack-ins that are in close proximity, but I wanted to make a test bed basically to kind of see if I could move them around, put them around, and find out if there was some way to determine what's actually going on with all of that. And so I built this hab and threw it on one of these ships that I had captured, so I could go in and the creation kit. And that's the razor leaf. I'm still using that as my main ship. I like that build a lot too, what I did with the dagger. It's basically the same thing as the Frontier, but it's a little bit different. There's the Frontier. It was like the Frontier with the pontoons. But I built this Claymore using that 3x3. Basically because I'm experimenting with it and it gives me two ships with that 3x3 in it where I can try various things. So I went in and I updated the wall skins. I changed the material, did a material swap on the walls so that they wouldn't look ugly, and I put on some better, just regular clean looking skins. But these particular display items seem to work fairly frequently, that they spawn their skin. And I haven't figured out why. I haven't figured out why that stuff is working and this other stuff isn't, because everything is the same. There is the same pack-in weapon, and they're on the same strange picture background, and the placement density is pretty well the same. But here they tend to be displaying their skins, and all of these other ones spread around. Now this wall here I created, I updated the material swap. I think those edges look more chrome, more shiny. It's got some very specific material swaps on it. Because what I was thinking, well, maybe there's something to do with that picture. that picture being shiny and having maybe there's a refresh that happens to it because it's got perhaps a material swap that goes on, and that triggers a refresh. That doesn't seem to be the case. It's not that I put these together, packed against the wall, with the wall having special material swap, and I'm not really seeing anything. The inflictors are showing a skin, but the other rifles, all of those other four, are all skinned, and they have yet to have displayed it. So I'm not figured out. I haven't found out what's going on. It seems completely random. But there's another thing that's also kind of random. It's like these the base item for these rifles is a single call out. There's only one part for each position that there should have. But I can pull them out of the console command, and it may be random what muzzle device they have or what scope they've got on them. And that shouldn't be the case because I only call out one scope and one muzzle device. So there's some randomness that is attached to what is actually spawned when I call out that device. And there's a specific mod list for the specific call out that I'm making. Now, if all I did was call out the base gun, the base gun does have randomness to it. It didn't call anything specific out, and it's kind of a roll of the dice as to what features you might get on it. So it implies, even though I've got a very specific call out, there's still a dice roll that goes for the probability of whether I'm going to get 100% of the call out or whether I'm going to get some random difference. So if that mechanism is there, and something is there because something is making that random when the call out is very specific, it's only got one scope, one barrel, one muzzle device, one internal, one stock, one grip. All of these very specific items, there's only one called out, and the standard or the none version of that mod list has been removed. It's only got a very specific call out. And so mostly you get exactly what's in the mod list, but sometimes you don't. And so there's something that's causing that. There's got to be something with the program that still has a randomness in it. So if there is something that's still random there, that randomness might also be affecting its ability to have a skin, and I don't know how the randomness works, what it triggers, what its probability factor is, and what might make it less probable or more probable. But all of these items are sharing the exact same identical base item. And on this wall, these are all four tied together to the wall as one group. These are all three tied together to that picture as a group. These are all individual pack-ins stacked, just placed there at the wall, but they're not tied to the wall. They're just a static pack-in. This whole wall on the backside here. But these are all grouped together, and they tend to spawn the skin. So it's still kind of a puzzle as to why those specific ones are spawning them and the others are not. This one here is almost always spawning its skin, but sometimes it doesn't. That one doesn't have a skin. This one here around the corner, this set very frequently spawns their skin. And it's the exact same base item on the exact same combination of items there. I think those inflictors don't actually, they weren't actually called out with a skin, but I updated that, and they will start skinning now if they skin. I think that they may actually have a different base item than what I did, but I updated the base item on the AA99 and several of the other weapons, and I've seen some results, but the ones that have been showing skins consistently tend to show the skins more frequently. And there's another set of the exact same base item that's not showing the skins. I like the way that turned out. It's a big ship now. Tank swallows up the whole landing pad. Let me go ahead and take a look at that. Look at how it's eating up the whole landing pad. Yeah, I mean, I've just been basically fiddling about, messing with some ships, building some ships. I built that hab so that I could. I mean, it's really easy to throw a hab together, an empty hab, and do what I did. That didn't really take any time. I mean, okay, so I've got a lot of snap points that I've got to put the snap behavior on, but you just do that and you're out and it's done, and then you have another hab that's a custom hab that you can go in and start populating, and it be its own unique hab, and you're not screwing with a base game asset. You've got your own asset, and so that's what I did. Is basically I built that hab so that I could see if I can put enough examples of what I think that might be affecting it. Like, does it have to do with some refresh that's going on that's tied to something that's got a material swap that's going to be getting refreshed for its material swap, assuming that that's what's happening? Is it have something to do with I don't know what. I mean, it's at this point I haven't really been able to see anything that tells me what's going on with that. So I've just have put out some test groups that have got some unique conditions, and I'm waiting to see if anything triggers or if I get any kind of response. Sometimes it doesn't happen right away. That you've got to enter and exit a ship several times before it wakes up and starts scanning. But that's not really the case for a couple of those items there. That the three long guns together, they wake up very quickly. The three short guns tend to wake up fairly quickly. And some of the individual ones, these two here, they wake up pretty quickly. But that whole other group is very slow to react, and they're all the same base item. So it's a little bit, I wonder what's going on there. And it's not clear why some things are less random than others when they're the same base item. There's got to be a reason for it, because it's too consistently that certain ones are always refreshing with a high frequency and others are not. One of the possible explanations that had surfaced was that, like for instance, that the hard target is supposed to have had a field already set for a weapon skin swap back in the base game, and so it's rooted in the Starfield ESM base main uh, lookup, and it's an easier lookup, a more assured lookup because it's the it's the root lookup that triggers that. So one explanation was that I got feedback on was saying that that's what's happening, and in order to make these others that were afterthoughts of being having a skin applied, I would need to go in and edit them with a hex editor to add that same field that the hard target has, so that they would then be seen and handled the same way by the original base lookup, and not a lookup that was created later and doesn't act with the same priority. That sounds logical, but it's not logical in that I have other things that work the same that would then have to be in the same lookup to work the same. And if they are in the same lookup and work the same, then why do they only work the same under certain conditions, but under other conditions they don't? They almost never work at all. So it's just the observation hadn't been made yet as to what the hell's going on with that. It is interesting, and it may be obvious. It's just I'm not seeing it. It's not. I don't have the information to recognize why that behavior is consistent, and it just seems so different. I'm not racking my brain too hard about it, but I did, like I say, I built that hab, and I don't think that grouping it made any difference. Ungrouping it and spreading it apart didn't make any real difference to the ones that haven't been working, which are the same base items, and so there's something about the ones that are working and how that was put together. There's something that is causing those to more frequently spawn the weapons, where the later they're not necessarily grouped, but they're not those particular objects that are assembled, and but they are the same base item that those things are assembled with. So it's weird. But I got this hab, and over time, if something comes to mind, I can fiddle with it. I can move something or whatever. But I've got every case there, all of those, and they all are pretty well skinning. Those are pretty well skinning. These here are tied together on the wall. They're tied to the wall as a group, and that wall has a special material swap. And so the idea of that was, like I say, is if maybe it's getting refreshed because those other items are tied to an object that's getting a material swap refresh, and that's triggering it. I can't verify that anything like that's happening. It was just a thought, and it was a dead end. I didn't get any information that indicates that was the case. But anyway, so fiddling about, see where it goes.